Hypocrisy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law-Splaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick REKIETA of REKIETA Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. How you guys doing? How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. Sorry, I'm a little behind today. Man, it's been a day. It's not actually, how do you describe it? It has not been a bad day. It hasn't been a particularly great day. I mean, it's just fine. It's okay. It's a day. But it was my son's first soccer game of the year. And so we went to that. And then I got home and just like sit down on my bed. Like, this is nice. Bam, unconscious. Lady Raggets wakes me up at like, what? 9:50. I was like, oh, I guess I got to do things like eat and, get the show ready. So it's been kind of frazzly, but things are looking up. Things are weird out here right now because something strange happened in the past couple days. Oh, you motherfucker. You ever have that one fly? There's one fly in my office. Just one. It's like flying around. Okay, so hear me out. We're going to talk about this a little bit today, and I'm looking at how to do the proper deep dive into this thing at some point. Maddox has posted a video inexplicably to YouTube. Now, it's been a minute since Maddox has done this. It's been a minute. Maddox, if you don't know, is an old school internet. He's this artifact of the internet. And he used to run this page called The Best Page in the Universe. It was a very funny satirical website. So we all thought, what is one hair hanging out? I don't know. Because I was just sleeping not long ago. So it's this page called The Best Page on the Internet. Satirical website. Articles about, I don't know, like weird takes on normie topics like politics and whatever, anything he thought of. And I would read this thing in high school from time to time, and it had some funny stuff on there. Like proposing to end illegal immigration by just forcing employers to pay immigrants minimum wage. Which, when you're like a dumb teenager, that sounds like a funny idea. And then you realize that, like, they do that. You are forced to pay the minimum wage. It's like that didn't actually fix anything. That's still a problem. But anyway, so he writes about it in a funny way, and you're like, oh, this is funny. Satire is good. And it goes on, and he eventually collides with Dick Masterson. They have this podcast. As you guys know, I'm friends with Dick Masterson, much to the chagrin of many of you. And I will say this on behalf of Dick Masterson. Sorry. There you go. Here. I can do it this way. I can fix everything. For anyone who has a big problem with like Dick Masterson, I want to make my official REKIETA Law statement on Dick Masterson. And if this needs to be clipped to broadcast to the world, go ahead and do it or whatever. Dick Masterson is the scum of the earth, a long-haired, fruity LA native walking around like he's cool in some sort of leather jacket that he stole off of a homeless in 1971 when he became 18 years old, because he's ancient now, decrepit old man running around the streets pretending to be like young or something. And his face His face is smaller than a singularity with a massive cavalcade of skin surrounding it, like some sort of Clive Barker nightmare trying to murder you in your sleep. This disgusting, nasty artifact of some former generation trying to hang out with the kids. He belongs on stage with his fellow fatzos, Guns N' Roses. There you go. He's a pile of trash. Garbage. There, I hope that fixed all of you. I hope you're fixed now. That would be great. Anyway, my friend Nick Masterson, he had this show with Maddox called The Biggest Problem in the Universe. Great podcast, great concept. Went for 2 years. You guys have probably heard this story, and I'm not going to like go over the whole thing again right now. But incidentally, when they break up like jilted gay lovers and Maddox ended up suing Dick Masterson, I covered it. I covered the lawsuit. It was my first videos on the channel. Complete accident to post them to YouTube solely by my incompetence of not figuring out how to post longer videos to Facebook. But in my defense at the time, you couldn't really post long videos to Facebook very easily. So anyway, post them to YouTube. They get some traction. And then I decide to ruin so many lives, more than I can count, by doing this. Mostly mine. But that being said, Maddox disappears from the internet. He's just gone. Sort of. He hangs around for a while on Twitch doing these weird costume things to like 17 viewers or whatever. It was really kind of a sad fall from this guy who used to do these really funny videos on YouTube that would get, you know, hundreds of thousands of views. It's good old classic YouTube. And he has one of my favorite lines ever. He has a video, and I recommend people to go look at it because I want Maddox to make like at least 35 cents from me talking about him. So if people want to watch this, you got to go watch his life hack video. And you have to remember this thing's like 8 years old. Okay. So it was a different time on the internet, but he goes through all these life hacks and talks about how stupid they are. And one of them, there's like a article or a video about how you should eat apples from the bottom. Like you should take the apple and instead of doing what like normal people do and you around the edge of the apple, right? And leaving the core that sucks to be thrown into the garbage or given to an Ethiopian or whatever. Instead of that, you just eat the whole thing in bites. And the life hack writer's idea was, hey, what's up, Brandon Herrera? How you doing, buddy? Voice sounds a bit haggard. You got the new run. No, I killed my voice last week. It's actually getting better, which is good because I can almost hit the tenor notes without squeezing my testicles. But dude, I'm gonna hit you up really soon. I love that you're running for Congress, and we need guys just like you. Like really need guys just like you. You made such a great fucking point on Twitter the other day that the average age of senators or congressmen or whatever is something like 71, which is insane. It's insane to think about these people running our lives. I've talked about that before. Thanks for stealing it, bigot. But it's exactly what you said. It's this ivory tower, out of touch group of old, boomers walking around with their Bengay elbow joints and stuff like that and walkers and stuff. And they don't know anything about what they're regulating. They don't know the technology they're using. They've got 26-year-old aides. And they also have aides that help them that are probably around 24. And they like regulate based on third-hand accounts of how to do anything current year. It's stupid. It's stupid. DC trip together. Let's figure that out. That sounds fun. That sounds way too much fun. Okay. Yes, I'm gonna hit you up so we can figure some stuff out. That sounds like a fucking blast. But anyway, guys, go check out Brandon Herrera. I'm sure you already know him, the AK guy. He's gonna AK-50 Congress. Wait, no, Brandon, no. We finally say, let's go, Brandon and Ernest. But back to Maddox and this life hack of eating apples. I mean, the original life hacks author was saying that you should chew it and the fleshy good parts of the apple would counterbalance the hard, horrible apple core. All right. Even if that's true, who wants to do it? And Maddox's line about this was just perfect. He says, I'm not going to do that because I'm not a fucking horse. Great. Very funny, poignant, right on. This was when life hacks were like taking over the internet. The Zine articles or whatever was always a life hack thing. Anyway, when he sued Dick and everybody made fun of him, he kind of disappeared from the internet. He finally, in 2023, has posted a video in which he goes after Whang, one of the most lovable creators on the internet, bringing us all sorts, just spoon feeding us internet degeneracy and healthy, normal people, approachable metrics. And Whang is fantastic. Maddox goes after Whang because Whang made fun of him. Justin Whang. Yeah, sorry. Justin Whang. W-H-A-N-G. Whang. Whang. I can pull up his channel. Let's do that. If you've not experienced Justin Whang on YouTube, great dude. Great dude. Here. Tons of subscribers. Way more famous than I'll ever be. He also has pretty good hair. But yeah, here's Whang. Look at that. 1.2 million subscribers. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I was on Whang years ago. You know, when he was just a budding channel. And so I like to take credit for all of his success. Anyway, go check out Whang. This is what he does. He talks about all sorts of stuff that is random, a little degenerate, but fantastic. And he's a really good dude also. So Maddox is going after Whang for Whang making fun of him in 2020 or something like that. Maddox had gotten a speaking engagement on a how to make money on YouTube sort of thing, which is funny when you know about Maddox, who is like opposed to ads and just never really capitalized on his internet fame. He was going to go to the speaking engagement, teaching people how to make money on YouTube. Whang made fun of him. And allegedly Maddox was dropped from this speaking engagement and he blames Whang for it. I mean, who knows if that's true? You know, you never know who's behind cancellations unless it's pretty overt. But one thing Whang didn't do is like reach out to the convention, be like, you guys got to take him down. It's just kind of a product of what happens. Sometimes you make fun of something and someone's like, oh, hey, shit, this guy is actually a laughing stock. And by that time, Maddox really was. But all that being said, this video is like 5 years too late. The first part of it is talking about Whang. The second half of it is why he sued Asterios Kokkinos, which was incidental to the Dick lawsuit, but of course very impactful for Asterios. He also sued a whole bunch of other people. It was an absolute joke of a lawsuit all around. It was great, very fun to talk about. And for a while, everybody thought it was a joke. They thought it wasn't real because it was so bad. But Maddox is back. So we'll talk a little bit about Maddox and his triumphant return. We're not going to watch his video today because it's 55 minutes long. And if I watch a 55-minute video and pause it and laugh and comment on it, it's going to be 2 hours, something like that. So I'm either going to cover it individually during the day on a Rumble exclusive stream in the next couple days here. Kind of depends on, we've got some scheduling stuff that is tentative tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. And once those pieces fall into place, and I know I might be doing that. Otherwise, I may be joining Dick Masterson to laugh at it on his show as well. I'll be posting a link if that's the case, but I'll try and keep y'all informed. If you're interested in the Maddox saga, if you need those member berries or whatever, that would be great. Also, if you guys could just do me a favor and watch your step as you're walking around the aisles, during the show today, if you get up or whatever, because Attorney Tom is here and you may mistake him for a lost child, and feel like you have to pick him up and cuddle him and take him to like a parent or something, but no one wants him. You could throw him in the trash like that one girl did with her baby. Or, you can just try and avoid stepping on him. That would be great. By the way, what's up to Good Logic? Thank you, Good Logic and his viewers, for raiding the show tonight. Hope you guys are having a great night. Are you too old to be a lawyer at 35? No, you're not. It just depends on what your goals are. Remember, being a lawyer is front loading an investment in education, and depending on the type of law you want to practice, not necessarily seeing that money come back in a very reasonable amount of time, or working your fucking ass off and seeing that money come back quite a bit. But the older you get, you really do have a limited window of that sort of ramp up to a decent income. So keep that in mind. Plus, if you're going to work for a firm, they may not want to, depending on what kind of law you're practicing, again, they may not want to hire an older graduate because you're going to be older, but not as necessarily as experienced as someone who's entering the field at 25, 26. So just kind of keep those things in mind. But it really, if you want to practice law, and help people, go do it. Don't let anybody stop you. If you want to practice law to make money, be very careful about your choices. All right. Some lawyers in some fields of law are very good at it, and some fields of law are not. But law school costs the same for everybody. It's a fucking huge investment of time and money. So just kind of decide what you want to do and why you want to do it. But if your goal is, I want to practice law, I want to help people, I want to do this thing, go do that. That's the right attitude for it. Okay. Whoa, shit. Dustin Surly with a huge super chat. Thank you. This has been following since Rittenhouse. Big fan. Former detective and cop. We talk trash about attorneys as much as you do with cops. Yes. Me too. Attorneys suck. Trying to get started on YouTube and Rumble, investing in political content. I'm not above grifting for a plug. Herrera for Congress. Guys, check out Dustin Shirley. And Dustin, hit me up. I would love to talk to a former detective and cop about some of these topics, some of these cases, some of the police stuff. Please reach out to me on some platform, Twitter, Instagram, email, whatever it is, and hit me up. I'd love to help you brainstorm. Also, if we could collaborate on stuff, I think it'd be great. I think it'd be a fantastic voice to have, former law enforcement, especially if they're someone who's looking to get into this talking space, talk about some of these subjects. So thank you again for the huge super chat. Much appreciate your personal grifting. Marshall Autist says, I already love Dick. You don't have to sell me on him. And he joins at the paralegal level as well. Thank you. Cedar Rose, what's up, Elbow? Says, oh, free chat. I better say something intelligent. Neurot Anaxaman Bear says, do you have any idea how many times Bill Hicks had to destroy his voice live on public television and AM radio before being accepted? Alex Jones. Being accepted Alex Jones? Accepted to Alex Jones or accepted? Who the fuck is Bill Hicks? Jonathan Schramm says, I just got married today. Can I get a toast to my wonderful wife? We saw you last year at Anime Matsuri. Shipley donuts were amazing. You probably don't remember me, but I was the one with most beautiful woman there. No, sir, that was me, but thank you for trying. It was a nice sentiment. Yes, I will toast you. Oh, Alex Jones is Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks is a cool name. Oh, the conspiracy theory that comedian Bill Hicks is Alex Jones. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying like he name changed to Alex Jones from Bill Hicks. I was like, Bill Hicks is that's just as good as Alex Jones. Okay. Jonathan Schramm, cheers to you and your wife. Getting married on a Monday. Little sus, but I'll take it. Cheers to you guys. May you enjoy many, many years together. Be fruitful, multiply as you desire, and grow in love, affection, care, irritation, and progeny. Cheers to you. What would I have done differently with my law career if I had a chance? Become a plastic surgeon. All right. Let's see. Okay. So we're going to talk Maddox a little bit. Fucking fly. Damn. I didn't get it. We are going to talk a little bit of Kyle Rittenhouse. We talked about it the other day when Joseph Rosenbaum, the ventilated pedophile, when his estate sued Kyle Rittenhouse, mirroring basically the lawsuit of Gage Grosskreutz, 3 years from the 3-year anniversary of the shooting, and also the very last day on the statute of limitations. Talked about it then. We're going to talk about it now, but a little bit different perspective in how the media, frankly, has destroyed Kyle Rittenhouse's life. They make it very hard for him to do anything. And that's taking its toll. I mean, it's taking its toll on him, especially as these lawsuits continue. I mean, he is still being sued by people who tried to kill him. It's amazing. He's found not guilty using self-defense as his defense, admitting to the facts of the shooting, admitting to all the facts that would ordinarily constitute murder, and being found not guilty unanimously by a jury, which means the not guilty comes from the self-defense, affirmative defense that he used. I mean, I guess we could infer it comes from somewhere else. That's the logical inference. It's the most reasonable explanation. Otherwise, you've got a jury who goes, it wasn't self-defense, but fuck those guys. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Or they say, he wasn't the trigger man. It was actually the government or something, which there's video evidence of Kyle plugging each one of them. So he's got this ongoing issue, though. These legal fees are mounting up. He probably has no money left from the fundraising that was done. He's not getting new fundraising. We're on to new things. We're on to new avenues and frontiers. His life is not. And it won't be for quite a while. These fees go on. Never mind. They'll persist and keep building and mounting. And at the same time, he is Kyle Rittenhouse. He is the racist toddler who crossed state lines to shoot black people exclusively, light their bodies on fire after putting them on a cross in the yard of other black people, all while screaming, "Wetbacks, go home." Like, he is the most racist, horrific murderer in American history, if you listen to people who have no idea what the case was. He is a pariah. So it's hard to be employed. It's hard to make money. You're being pursued by these awful people who want to put a capture on any money you make for the rest of your life, all for defending yourself. But what's the rub? Not everybody who defends themselves gets this social stigma. It's if you defend yourself against the wrong assailant. And in this case, the wrong assailant is a convicted child rapist, a horrific domestic violence felon, and then Gage the bicep Grosskreutz. By most measures, not a great dude either. But it's the movement that Kyle really attacked, right? It's Black Lives Matter, which you cannot attack. You cannot question. You cannot attack a black man. No matter who you are, you cannot do it, even if it's not actually a black man. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. I ran across this article on Tom's Hardware. This is just a little topic that I'll get into for a palate cleanser a little bit later. There's a British guy who discovered ceiling fans. And look, I don't know how to say this. Like, it never occurred to me that the British don't have ceiling fans. Like, I don't know. I'm genuinely perplexed. Are there Brit bongs in the chat? Do you guys not have ceiling fans? Is that not a thing? He's like talking about how he's discovered ceiling fans, the acceptable alternative to air conditioning. Like, I don't need air conditioning. I've got a ceiling fan. It's like, wait, that's no, that's not the same thing. But then I'm reading the article. I'm like, okay, wait, no. This guy doesn't have central AC. He doesn't have central air. They have to have like the freestanding air conditioning units or something like that. And so I want to use this thing. Like, reading the article, very shocked at this. And it explains some things about like global discussions on climate, global discussions on energy usage and stuff like that. And I think it's useful because, again, it never occurred to me that like it should, right? Because I know there are huts in the world, but it never occurred to me that people live in the misery of no AC. Like commonly as like a nation. I mean, I get like poor areas of the United States may not have AC and stuff like that, but like as a populace, AC is not very common in England, but also apparently neither are ceiling fans, which is perplexing to me. And maybe it's a facet of this, like of old world construction, lower ceilings, I think someone said, stuff like that. I'm not sure, but it's kind of enlightening. And it tells us what the real answer is. And that is to bulldoze Europe and build new stuff. Like, for fuck's sake, try just making a house that isn't terrible. Like, just give it a shot. Had lots of advancements in all this stuff. Be better at everything. So we'll talk about that as well. It's cold and rainy in the UK mostly. So AC is great. AC is great if it's cold because it takes some moisture out of the air. But we'll talk about that. Like I said, I think just if we're going to have like Halliburton building stuff, can we just bulldoze all of Europe and be like, bro, make some new houses? Like, here's some prefabs. Just put them up. People love them. They're bigger than your shitty old houses anyway, right? Like, you could throw a double wide down in England and probably out square foot the average home. All right, so we'll do that. I got this other title, 6-pack chat attack. I saw this guy the other day. He's a sales coach and like a motivational speaker and fitness guru. He's like, we don't hire people without 6-packs. Like, okay, that's cool. And I guess it ignited some discussion online. It's like, standards, we have them. All right. So I don't know. It's this weird thing. Like, motivational culture is kind of funny in its own way. So we might talk about that a little bit. And then I was reading an article about Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek Ramaswamy, Swamy or whatever, very popular young candidate for the Republican presidency. And Sarah Gonzalez at the Blaze did dive into him. And it's kind of interesting. I want to know your guys' thoughts on him, because he's saying very popular stuff right now that's not quite the same as what he was saying a couple years back. And so it's politics, man. Politics, man. Guessing I'm not a fan. I'm literally neutral on him. Don't care. Don't care. And I'm just curious what y'all think. Because, look, I can certainly entertain the possibility that someone last year and the year before would be saying Donald Trump on January 6th was disgraceful and needs to go to jail, and then changing their mind now and saying the prosecutions are all a sham. Like, I can see, that's not sarcasm. I can see that. I can understand that. As a person who changed their opinion from 2016 on Trump, I can certainly understand someone else changing their opinion on Trump. Now, the reason I changed my opinion on Trump from 2016 is because I was very concerned what he was saying about journalists, free speech. I was very concerned about him not threatening to, but talking about jailing Hillary Clinton during one of the debates, mainly because while I agreed with him that Hillary Clinton should probably be in jail, I also understand like the risk of prosecuting political opponents, which, as you've noticed, I've talked about. Trump didn't jail Hillary Clinton or really go after her at all. And he didn't go after journalists, right? He didn't do the things that I was really concerned about him doing. He didn't do a lot of stuff that I wanted him to do, but he didn't do the things that looked very authoritarian and very, despotic to me. Now, before you levy any accusations, I did not vote for Hillary Clinton in 2016. I wrote myself in. I was very much concerned about how Donald Trump was going to act based on what he said. And then he didn't do those things. And I thought he made a pretty fine president and would vote for him again. I don't know if that's the right answer. I don't know if he's the right guy for the job. He seems like he will be the guy to try and get the job. And if that's the case, well, we'll follow along and see how that goes. But I can see changing opinions. Again, mine was based on Donald Trump demonstrating that he wouldn't do the things that he made me nervous he would do. I don't know what Vivek's explanation is, but I didn't know he needed one until now. So I'm curious what you guys think about it. We can talk about that if we get there. There's more to talk about out there, but we'll kind of just see how long we go on these topics. And we'll get there. Yeah. We'll do what we can. We'll do what we can. So Nick voted for the Libertarian Party. No, no, that was a really especially bad year for the Libertarian Party too. Can we discuss the relationship between police and lawyers? Is it adversarial or does it depend? Briefly, it depends. Police and prosecutors tend to be pretty chummy. Police and defense attorneys tend to be pretty adversarial. Police and lawyers generally, the general advice of lawyers is to not talk to police, not engage them, assert your rights. But you have to understand that position doesn't come from a disdain for the police automatically. Usually it comes for respect for the police in doing the job that you understand that they do. And that's kind of the trick. Going through legal training, encountering police and prosecutions as a defense attorney, you learn really quickly what the real job of police is. And that is not to like solve the crime. It is to find sufficient evidence. Actually, yeah, sufficient evidence to bring a charge based on probable cause to someone for a thing. That is a police officer's job at the end of the day. No matter, even if they protest that it's something else, even if there's a policy statement and they have these noble, lofty things about protecting the public and whatever it is, protect and serve, it's not. What the practical aspect at the end of the day is that police officers exist to find sufficient cause to charge someone for some crime. And wherever they find it, that's what they do. So once you realize that, you realize why you don't really talk to the police. Because you might give them, through a statement that can be misinterpreted or misheard, sufficient probable cause to bring charges against you, or lead them to an investigation that could bring charges against you. You could be involved in something that had nothing to do with you personally, and charges could be brought against you for other things found. It's just a respect for what they do, and that they're very good at collecting that evidence. It's not necessarily the right evidence. It's not necessarily the correct crime. It's not necessarily the right person. They do that very well. So you don't give them inroads and permission to do that. So that's kind of a brief explanation of that. But let's get into this Kyle Rittenhouse thing. And we'll go from there. Oh, by the way, again, if you are not aware, I'm doing a live show in Nashville, Tennessee, September 16th. If you want to come meet me, get kind of a live, it's a little more laid back kind of comedy show where we'll do a live show with guests and stuff for 2 hours or so. We'll do a bunch of drinking and hanging out for the rest of the time in Nashville, Tennessee. And then, of course, around the event, like Thursday and Friday, stuff like that, there will be more kind of activities and there will be other people there to hang out with, meet up with, and have a good time. That is on Saturday, September 16th in Nashville. You can go to my Eventbrite page, which I should have a link to, but I don't because preparedness is not a strong suit. Here, I'll pull it up. Giggity. Pull this up real quick. You can go and buy tickets to that event. And so you just go to, Eventbrite, REKIETA Law takes on Nashville. I'll put the stream in the chat, or put the link in the chats here. Look, these live shows are really fun. They're a great way to hang out and meet people. And come check it out. If you want, if you're in the Nashville area, it'll be a blast. There will be other people there. Dick Masterson, which I know means like 800 people will cancel their tickets, but that's fine. Cecil Says will be there. Camelot will be there. Uncivil Law will be there. I think Andrew Bronco will be there as well. Should be a blast. Trying to talk Drexel into being there. We'll see. He's got a logistical issue to clear up. But yeah, come check that out. Again, September 16th. And I look forward to seeing everybody there. All right, here we go. Here we go. Drexel didn't have a logistical issue to go to the fatty Minnesota State Fair. Look, his logistical issue is, without getting too detailed into it, he may have his daughter that weekend. And if that's the case, he may not be able to come out to Nashville. Like, that's just that. So whether he does or not, I don't know. Whether he's able to work something else out, I'm not sure. So it kind of depends on, his fatherly duties with her. Here we go. Here's this. Extremely difficult to go outside without fear of being harassed. Kyle Rittenhouse complains after being sued for wrongful death by a state of man he shot and killed. Listen to the fucking faggotry of law and crime. Dan Abrams, you are such a weeping, gaping front hole that I almost can't take it. I almost can't take it. Hey, what's up, Runkle? How you doing, brother? This guy just, not Runkle, Dan Abrams and Law and Crime just suck. They just suck. Kyle Rittenhouse complains after being sued for wrongful death by a state of the man he shot and killed. Oh, okay. All right. Sure. That's the way to frame that, by Colin Kalmbacher. Okay, let's see what this. Where are you, Colin? Well, you look like Colin. Colin Kalmbacher. Oh, of course. Every time. God damn it. Why is it every time with this? Hold on. Where is it? I can't. Fucking right here. Every time. It's every time. They always look like this. They always. Hold on. Let me see. I mean, it's okay. Whatever. Did they just, is it just a form? Like, did they just pick him out of a hat? I don't know. Where do they get them? All right, so here we go. The estate of a Wisconsin man who was shot and killed by Kyle Rittenhouse during a 2020 Black Lives Matter protest, suing the conservative folk hero in federal court on a litany of claims. Okay. C says, why do you call Kyle not guilty instead of innocent? He's innocent until proven guilty, and he wasn't found guilty. Well, to be specific, he was specifically found not guilty on the verdict form. So that's why I said not guilty. Found not guilty. I don't know. What are you doubting my support of Kyle Rittenhouse? Do you think I like closetly believe he was guilty? Did you watch? I don't know. Or is it just like a genuine question? I don't know. That's a weird one. Whatever. All right, here we go. On a litany of claims, on August 25th, exactly 3 years after the fatal shooting, the estate of Joseph Rosenbaum filed a lawsuit against Rittenhouse. The Jews, they stole from beyond the grave. Hold on. Balian says, I get weird juju vibes from Vivek. He came out of nowhere saying all the right things in all the right ways with that Obama suave. Don't trust him. Yeah, I don't know on Vivek. I don't know. I don't have a position or opinion on him. Fox McCloud. What's up, Rackets? Hey, what's up? Sorry if you've answered this before. Couldn't the criminal verdict be used as evidence that the PDF file or wife beater's deaths were not wrongful? Oh, pedophile or wife beater's deaths were not wrongful. Yeah. I mean, it's persuasive. It's persuasive. But it's not definitive, right? A jury did not find him guilty of murder, but wrongful death is a different legal standard. We'll talk about it a little more in a minute. Barton Bell, yeah, I know he's a Law and Cuck channel contributor. I'm reading from Law and Cuck right here, up here at the top. All right. Let's see. The Kenosha Police Department. Oh, so they sued Rittenhouse, Kenosha Police Department, and several individual Kenosha police officers and various state agencies. 48-page lawsuit accuses the defendants of wrongful death, negligence, conspiracy, civil rights violations, First Amendment retaliation, and numerous other constitutional and common law claims. Now, look, the main thrust of this lawsuit is actually against the government officials, but they have Kyle in there for wrongful death. But they're also alleging that he was deputized by the police department, which is frankly fucking idiotic. And they're going after the police for failure to protect, which Castle Rock v. Gonzalez would like to have a word. There's a whole bunch of claims in there that they only levied the unconstitutional curfew against protesters, which is not true. But that's what they're going with here. So yeah, on the night of August 25th, 2020, Rosenbaum was protesting the police shooting of Jacob Blake. Rittenhouse, 17 years old at the time, traveled across state lines with a rifle and shot and killed Rosenbaum. My N-word, it's been 3 fucking years and you still can't get it right. He did not travel across state lines with the rifle, you dumb fucking idiot. It was always in Wisconsin. It never left the state of Wisconsin. How does your soy-filled faggot ass not get this? It's fucking right there. It's all of the testimony, all of the evidence, everything except the butt fucking narrative of the fucking media that they just can't countenance that he lived 15 minutes away and there happens to be a state line there with the fact that he had a rifle. He must have carried it with him. No. He'll carry it with me like my daddy did. No, he got it from his friend's house who lived in fucking Kenosha, you dummy. Everybody says his friend and his dad were charged with the fucking illegal transfer, you moron. All of the evidence, all of it, everything says that gun was in Wisconsin the entire time. It was bought in Wisconsin. It was stored in Wisconsin. It was grabbed in Wisconsin. It was practiced within Wisconsin. And it was fired into a fucking pedophile in Wisconsin. Why are you like this? How do you not take the most basic glance at the fucking case? Do you know anything about it? Or are you too busy sucking down semen-topped lattes to fucking pay attention? Are we going to find out how many African Americans he shot next? Is that the other thing? Like, you're going to report that Joseph Rosenbaum was a budding NBA player? Like, what the fuck other reporting are you going to do? This ran on your stupid network. You losers threatened me with copyright infringement claims because I was using your shitty coverage. Okay. Shot and killed Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber. Actually, he didn't even travel across state lines. He was in Illinois the whole time with a rifle and a silencer scope that would allow him to shoot 7 miles without being detected. With a ghost bullet 3D printed from his anus into his magazine clips made of porcelain PVC or whatever fucking other idiocy you could come up with a pistol grip and a bayonet that would launch at his enemies. As well as injuring Gage Grosskreutz. Rittenhouse, who was tried on 2 counts of murder and 1 count on attempted murder, tried and failed. Am I right, boys? Testified that he shot the men in self-defense. Jurors agreed, ultimately finding him not guilty on all charges. The filing, which seeks compensatory damages, alleges that law enforcement more or less allowed armed vigilantes to run amok on the night in question. This is emblematic. This is emblematic of the left media. And like, I fucking hate that it's real. I hate that it's a real thing and not just some, like, I wish it was a conservative masturbatory fantasy because that would make life easier if it wasn't real, but it is. Armed vigilantes roaming the streets sounds like a great line from a shitty novel or whatever. But there isn't an arrestable offense for walking around in Kenosha with a rifle. There is not an arrestable offense for walking around with a rifle. Because if that was arrestable, they would have convicted him on that. There isn't a thing. They allowed armed vigilantes. What do you mean they allowed them? You could just be out with a rifle. It makes people very fucking uncomfortable. But it should bother everybody who thinks this, that they didn't even charge the one guy that could definitely prove was out on the streets with a rifle. Like, they know he was. It's on video. He shoots people with it. He's carrying it around the whole time. And they didn't even bother to charge it because they can't. It's not a crime to do this. But they always want this, right? Well, I can't believe the police didn't go violate everyone's civil rights that night. Why wouldn't they? I don't know. Why don't you move back to whatever cucktopia you came from? Like, this is, if you know me, like, rarely will you find me super on the side of the police here. The police did everything right in the Rittenhouse thing. I was surprised they didn't arrest him that night. They could have. Like, right? He's like, I shot these guys. Yeah, go home. Get out of here. Like, they could have just arrested him there. They had other shit to deal with. He didn't seem like a threat. They didn't know what he's fucking talking about, really. So they sent him home. And he goes and turns himself in. This is all fine. The police could have infringed Kyle's civil rights. They could have done a whole lot of stuff that night, and they didn't. They didn't even really combat the mob running around burning things. That's why Kyle was there. That's why other people, armed vigilantes, were there, is because they were protecting private properties, protecting the community that they lived in or worked in or whatever. They're out there protesting the protest, not shooting people. If you notice, no one else is shot that night by the armed vigilante squad. And they really try and tie Kyle in to this, these other people. Like, they're like, some people, we'll see this in the article, some of which had racist posts on Facebook or something. Okay. All right. Sure. I feel bad for this guy. I do. I feel bad for this guy. I think I might buy him a gift card to like Starbucks, but only for pumpkin spice lattes. Like, if I can restrict a gift card to only pumpkin spice lattes, so this white woman can go get a fucking beverage all through October and feel better about her nails and hair or whatever. Like, that's what I'll do. Maybe we could do that. But it blows my mind that journalists are out here like, I can't believe the police didn't just infringe everybody's civil rights. Like, what were they even doing there? Like, that's a question I would ask, like, tongue-in-cheek style. All right. And that local county agencies, quote, directly caused Rosenbaum's death in concert with Rittenhouse's bullets. Like, Kyle Rittenhouse is the direct cause of the death of Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber. No question. Pulled the trigger, bullet goes into him. They're dead. Directly caused it. I'm going to sneeze. It's not going to happen, but I need to. Anyway, he directly caused it. The local and county agencies didn't directly cause it. They are what we call but-for causation, maybe, at best. Because they didn't go violate everyone's civil rights. And remember, the curfew order that they were not properly enforcing was unconstitutional. It was ruled unconstitutional. We found that out during the case. The charge of violating the curfew order by Kyle Rittenhouse was dismissed out. They were trying to use that as a way to enhance that crime with a gun charge to try and get him in some other way if they couldn't get, well, he violated the curfew order. That was found unconstitutional. Charges were dropped, which would have meant if they had enforced the curfew order at all on anyone, it would have been a violation of their civil rights. And those people would have been entitled to damages against the city for passing an unlawful order and enforcing it. Good. 1983 claims. Fuck them. Fuck the city of Kenosha, by the way. By the way, let's get this clear. Only party I actually care about in this case is Kyle Rittenhouse. City of Kenosha, the county, all the government officials. Fuck you and you and you and you and you. Fuck your friends and I hate them too. Fuck you. They're all terrible. Like, go away. Sue the government all day, every day. I want commies to win against the government because I hate government that much. That's just commies suing commies. Fuck them. Burn together, you miserable bundle of sticks. Fuck them. That being said, if they enforced a curfew, it was unlawful. Again, this guy intentionally not doing research. But that being said, I'm fucking broken record. They're not even the proximate cause. So approximate, you have but for causation, you have proximate causation. You can have direct causation is similar to proximate causation. So but for causation is but for the action or inaction of this thing, this other thing happened. So proximate causation or but for causation is something that can go back like throughout eternity, right? But for the Wright brothers inventing the plane and flying it, 9/11 wouldn't have happened. Because they would have had to like use a kayak to bomb the World Trade Center or something. Who knows, right? Like, but because planes were invented and then built up, you get a plane flying into a building, right? But there's proximate causation, which is, Saudi terrorists or whatever. Can we say that yet? Hijack a plane and they fly it into the building. Like that's the proximate causation. It's an intervening cause to the but for causation. So I guess you could make the claim that but for the inaction of the Kenosha police or something, county officials in doing something, then that's why Kyle Rittenhouse is there to kill. And they're right on that, right? Because had they actually been out enforcing the law, we know those protests were not peaceful. We know those protests were full of offenses that could have given the police all the license they wanted to disperse the crowd. Unlawful acts caused damage to buildings and property the night before and the night of the shooting. Police had all the grounds in the world to do it. They didn't because they had orders not to. You got a big mob of people. It could really go bad. You could have people getting shot in the streets by the cops, which would have been a whole different story, right? All of that could have happened if the police had intervened. So they don't. Well, we'll let this play out. So sure, they're somewhat of a cause just because the incidents happen in the way they did because there weren't police everywhere. And if there were, we might have had something different because there might have been a cop around when Zeminski pulled out his gun, right? Oh, wait. Forgot that little detail, didn't you? Didn't you, my little edamame, wrapped up in your green blanket of cowardice? Forgot that there was a shooter before Kyle Rittenhouse. He shot in the air. His name was Zeminski. He's a protesting communist scumbag that you probably have sucked the penis of because you're so disgusting. But that, right before Kyle turns around and sees a pedophilic midget running after him, grabbing for his gun, getting his hand on the barrel. Oh, yeah. I was a lawyer once. It's a tough racket. I remember the facts of the case, the details, the testimony. I was there. I was there on the front lines. All right. But the intervening cause was Joseph Rosenbaum trying to kill Kyle Rittenhouse, which means he's the proximate cause of his own death because Kyle acts justifiably in self-defense. Okay, here we go. During the protest, private citizens took up arms and patrolled the streets of Kenosha, acting as law enforcement agents. Every line. I feel like I'm EFAPing a fucking text-to-speech device. It wasn't Nicholas De Niro. That was actually Nicholas Baldwin from Glengarry Glen Ross. Alec Baldwin's greatest 15 minutes ever is his speech in Glengarry Glen Ross. Second greatest when he shot that woman. Just kidding. Oh my God. Just kidding. But I love this. acting as law enforcement agents. Listen, Cuck, can I call you Cuck? Can we do that? The policing power is derived from the people who retain that power. We get to police our own communities. We don't necessarily get the same authority that police do. Some of those powers we give to them in lieu of our own. We grant them a little extra protection and leeway to do their job, which I don't necessarily agree with, but we do it. But the authority to arrest, that's ours. The authority to carry a weapon, a rifle, pistol, those are ours. Now, we may have to go through some hoops to do it, right? Police do too. We ignore that. We ignore that police have training requirements. They have, they have to be hired. They have some level of qualifications, even though they keep reducing them to try and just keep some fuckers employed. But they do. They go through hoops too. We go through hoops. I don't think we should have to, but we do. And there are certain requirements. You can't run around with a machine gun because you can't really easily own a machine gun. Unless you're licensed, then you can. But all that said, the police power comes from the people. Without the police, it's a literal vigilante mob. Because that was the police. The posse. Like, some people would just get together and say, hey, we gotta protect our shit from these Indians or whatever. Trying to tech support us to death. You're not posing as law enforcement agents. Law enforcement agents are literally posing as the posse, the communal posse. Fuck them right in the posse. Okay, here we go. The lawsuit reads, many of them had posted racist messages and threatened violence on social media before descending upon Kenosha. And yet, none of that happened. So, who was it? What racist messages? What violence did they threaten? They made their plans known to law enforcement agents. The filing goes on to make the accusation plain. Astonishingly, the Kenosha Police Department, Kenosha County Sheriff's Department, their supervising officials and police officers and law enforcement officers from surrounding communities did not treat defendant Rittenhouse or any of the other armed individuals patrolling the streets as a threat to the safety of themselves or the citizens they were sworn to protect. And here's why, ladies and gentlemen, they weren't a threat to anyone. And how do we know this? I don't know. All of the empirical evidence shows that. The only person Kyle was a threat to were people trying to kill him. There were four people trying to kill Kyle Rittenhouse. He shot 3 of them. He missed one because it was nighttime and the guy was black. No one else is threatened by any of them that night. Let's see. Here we go. The lawsuit goes on. Instead, the law enforcement defendants deputized these armed individuals, which that never happened. I don't know what they handed them a water bottle or something. Said, thanks guys for watching out for the community. Conspired with them. What I need you to do, I need you to find a short pedophile, put some bullets in him, and ratified their actions by letting them patrol the streets. Again, they armed with deadly weapons to mete out justice they saw fit. Now, I'm not going to blame the loser author of this article for this because this is in the lawsuit, but all of that, again, the police can't just go, whoa, 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 whoa. You can't be walking around out here. You're under arrest. Can't do that. Even with the shitty unconstitutional curfew order. Can't do that. After Rosenbaum was shot and killed by Rittenhouse, Huber and Grosskreutz approached the teenage shooter, attempting to disarm him. Turns out the only person disarmed that night was Gage Grosskreutz. Huber, of course, died, while Grosskreutz survived a shot to the arm, the lawsuit notes, using the word hero to refer to each. Is that annoying? Probably. Hero. The hero child rapist. The fucking heroes. The heroes of Kenosha trying to burn it to the ground. Shoot me, nibba. Shoot me, nibba. Okay. If you insist. Blam!
nigger.
The fucking heroes. After the first shots were fired, the federal lawsuit notes law enforcement, quote, did not limit Rittenhouse's movement in any way. They were. Well, once he shot the one guy, they didn't limit his movement. They weren't around, homie. He ran to them as fast as he could. He's like, some pedo's trying to touch me. Like he's running down the fucking street. He's doing the slightly overweight, puffy job, right? Or jog. You guys have seen it. You're like, Look, I love Kyle. Don't get me wrong. I think the guy is great. I think he's hilarious. I think what happened to him is absolute shit. He's charming. He's got his whole fucking life ahead of him. But he's a little chubster, right? And he's I hear that ice cream truck coming. He's running after it. Good dude. No, nothing personal. He goes right to the cop. He goes beelines for the fucking barricade line. He goes straight for it. I got to get to these cops. Poor naive 17-year-old. I got to get to these cops. They'll help me. Why are the cops with his hands up, but he's got a fucking rifle slung over his chest? Like he didn't get blasted. Here we go. Ryan Acorn says, devil's advocate. To file a suit against a party that has money, the government, doesn't the estate need to include everyone involved so they can't shift blame to an unindicted party? It's gay, but the way law works, no, they don't have to. They don't have to because, so what you can argue, well, let's say they just sue the government. They, hey, and this is actually a more sensible lawsuit, in my opinion. Well, no, they'd have some compromises there, but say, you don't have to sue him. You don't have to sue a co-conspirator, and you don't have to sue someone who did something. If you think the main cause wasn't Kyle Rittenhouse, and you say the cause was the police for allowing this murderer to run around or whatever, then you could sue the police, not sue him. And if the police wanted to make the argument that Kyle Rittenhouse is the actual cause and not them, they could move for joinder. They'll add him to the lawsuit. So actually, this other fucker is the guy who it's his fault. They could do that. They didn't. Lisa Gordon says, don't hold back. Tell us how you really feel, lol. It's 3 years. It's worse. It's worse than the George Zimmerman shit, right? George Zimmerman, Trayvon Martin. Zimmerman is still maligned over and over. But Zimmerman, like, there's some evidence that he's a piece of shit. Like, there is some evidence that he's a piece of shit. Not in regards to shooting Trayvon Martin, but in regards to just, like, other things in his life. But he might have become a piece of shit because of what he went through with Trayvon and that case. I don't know. But Kyle is not in the same league, even with that. Like, he just, by all accounts, seems like a pretty decent kid. All right. Dustin Shirley says, differentiating that most DAs in large cities are liberal because most of the voters are liberal. This doesn't mean that police support charges. Most police are conservative or libertarian. Well, I'll take your word on that one, Dustin. But I would say that, not all police support some charges. And that's the thing, right? They write their incident reports. Those incident reports involve facts, and DAs can choose to charge or not charge based on that. Austin says, Nick, I could use your advice. My mom is going off life supporting care tomorrow. Early onset Alzheimer's. I want to support my dad, but I have no idea how. I can't lose him too. Thanks for being there for me, my parasocial friend. All right, give me a moment. Look, I know some people find some of these messages to be disruptive, but there's fun on the internet. There's the insanity of like the greater real life of our communities and our politics and all that. And then there's that personal reality that hits us from time to time. Austin, if your mom has Alzheimer's, early onset, you've already been going through hell. So is your dad, right? You've been going through it. And at this point, I mean, obviously, the impending loss is going to sting, but some of the sting is taken out by the blessed release from a crippling ailment. The loss of faculty, the loss of memory is the loss of person. That's the true loss of life. So you're already going through that, and you have been for a while. So is your dad. How to support your dad, man, is simple. It's be there. It's to be those memories that your mom lost. It's to be those memories that he doesn't get to share. It's to be the memory, this is going to sound gross, but of creating you. And I don't mean that to be crude. I don't mean that in a sexual way, but in the intimacy, the partnership, the trial of bringing you into the world, of watching you develop and grow. Your mom lives on in you, man. So a cheers to you, a cheers to your dad. Be there with him. Don't tell anybody when he cries. Love him for the man he is and the man he made you into. Good luck, brother. All right. Okay. When he said I was that guy until it was my turn, don't worry about it, brother. Don't worry about it. Life hits you with sledgehammers. Okay, so back to this. They didn't limit Rittenhouse's movement in any way or stop him from shooting individuals after he started. They couldn't have. It was impossible. They did not arrest him, detain him, or question him even after he had killed 2 people. The filing continues. Among other things, law enforcement defendants directed their curfew order only at people protesting the law enforcement defendants' own police violence, and not at defendant Rittenhouse and others who were supportive of law enforcement. Okay. Again, you can say that. We'll take their word for it. I'm not sure of anyone who was charged with that shit. Rittenhouse approached police in Wisconsin with his arms up and was allowed to pass freely back to Illinois, where he turned himself into law enforcement later that same night. He was held in juvenile lockup before being extradited to the Badger State on October 30th. Before his criminal trial, Huber's father filed a substantially similar conspiracy lawsuit against Wisconsin authorities and Rittenhouse by the same attorney, by the way. A lot of this is a copy-paste. A federal judge allowed the lawsuit to move forward earlier this year. The highest profile of the defendants, for his part, says he is tired of lawsuits targeting him over the fatal shootings that Kenosha jurors determined were justified by self-defense. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yes, he probably is. Yeah, some horrible people tried to kill me while I was out trying to help people and keep businesses from burning to the ground. And I had to defend myself, and it was highly traumatic. I was terrified for my life, and you fuckers have been trying to ruin me ever since. And I really wish I wasn't being sued over it because I want to move on with my life. Thanks. These lawsuits are making it harder and harder for me to move on with my life. Rittenhouse told a far-right blog. Who? Texas Scorecard. Is Texas Scorecard a far-right blog? I don't know. Trip to Israel is right on the cover. What? I don't know anything about Texas Scorecard. Real news for real Texans. Sounds awesome. But apparently it's far right. And you know why it's far right, right? Because they didn't call Kyle a murderer, I'm sure. In response, the Rosenbaum Estates lawsuit, it is extremely difficult to go outside without fear of being harassed or assaulted because of the lies spread in these lawsuits and by law and crime. and by law and crime. I mean, this guy, no one should have to continue to defend the fact that they acted in self-defense. Correct. No one should. No one should. And prayers and support for my best friend, really, my personal best friend, Kyle Rittenhouse, who, you know, I hung out with a million times and know his entire life story. No, just kidding. I hate to say my friend Kyle Rittenhouse. I don't want to do that to him. He's a great dude. He's super nice. And I wish him the best. I would talk to him anytime. I've been hoping that these lawsuits would wrap up so he's a little more free to talk. When I interviewed him last time, he's kind of had to keep some things mum. But I would love to see what's going on in his life when the lawsuits are not looming over him like a sword of Damocles. That would be great. That would be great. So, hey, is that you? Kyle! I don't know if that's actually him in the chat because it could be anybody. But if it is you, brother, dude, I wish you the best. Hit me up soon. I'll send you a message or whatever because I want to check in and see how you're doing. Really hope you're doing okay. And the shit that's happening to you, my friend, is way, way beyond the pale. So cheers to you, man. Cheers to you. Okay. How does Rosenbaum have an estate? Well, everybody has an estate. It just depends on what's in it. Just depends on what's in it. There's not much in there. I think there's a plastic bag. Probably a couple fragmented steel rounds or something. But no, so hypothetically, Rosenbaum actually has an interesting estate, like legally. Now, Rosenbaum is the cause of Rosenbaum's death. He chose to go to the streets of Kenosha. He was acting actually illegally. He made violent threats to people. I believe he engaged in a common law battery. If I remember one of the some of the video, I believe he touched someone unwanted. Like, this is not a kid touching joke. Oh yeah, let me check that out. Sorry. I gotta do this while I'm thinking about it. Here we go. Okay. Sorry. Just had to, had to respond to Kyle. What a good dude. What a good dude. Yeah. Kyle, I'm going to add you as a moderator on my channel just so I can see you. You don't ever have to do anything ever, but it'll just help me see you if you're ever in chat, brother. Thanks again for popping in. I appreciate that. Okay. Oh, and yeah, sorry, you're gay now. Like, look, these privileges come with trade-offs. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. But if you start looking at, like, you know, guys a little differently, I did it. I feel bad for that. Also, Kyle Runkle of the Bailey. That's my buddy Ian. He's Canadian, but we allow it anyway. He's a great dude. Great dude. Big supporter as well. Okay. So look, I mean, this is the reality. This is a reality of outraged media that is overtly left. Overtly left. And look, I don't know Kyle's actual politics. I don't want to associate improperly Kyle Rittenhouse with any political ideology. The dude is young. I mean, he was what, 20 now? He's 20. I can almost buy him a beer outside of the presence of his mom or whatever. I think he's 20. You might be, he's closing in on 21 though, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't want to ascribe him a political ideology. Kyle Rittenhouse was not acting politically. The media wanted him to act politically. This is a 17-year-old. At the time, his politics may have been idiotic. They could have been anything, right? He's 17. We were all 17 at some point. We were all there. I don't agree with 17-year-old me on a lot of issues. I do on some, but you don't know who you are. You're kind of like borrowing stuff from parents and friends and mentors, kind of putting yourself together. But you're also just like, yeah, I got this high school stuff and I like this girl, or retroactively this boy or whatever. Like, I like these things and I'm worried about this. And I want to go hang out with my friends, shoot my gun. And I want to do all this stuff. That'll be great. Get in a car and drive around. Can't wait till we're 18. We can go vote or whatever. Like, politics is not the focus of 17-year-olds normally. And if it is, you're probably being raised and groomed for office or whatever. So I don't want to give him a political ideology. It was never political. There's a guy, he's like, I work in this community. It's getting burned down. Friend says, hey, you want to go out and like protect this business or whatever? Sure. Sounds cool. We'll go out, bring my med kit, see if anybody needs some bandages or a White Claw or whatever. And so the White Claw's a joke. He didn't have that. But see if anybody needs some help, and we'll just be there, keeping everything calm. He ends up having to shoot some people, and they're like, this racist mega Republican. Oh my God. Poor guy. Just trying to live, just trying to be a good citizen. Like, I really hope everything I know doesn't get burned to the ground tomorrow. By the way, guys, I'm from Minnesota. If you go to Minneapolis, like a couple days before this, like there's the Jacob Blake, this is all in the wake of St. Floyd. You can go find all the black businesses turned crispy by the BLM protesters. Whole neighborhoods torched to the ground. And like the idea that it's just like the evil white conservatives, like the businesses being burned in Minneapolis and probably in Kenosha are not like white ultra MAGA conservative businesses. Like, these are minority owned businesses. And it's crazy. A bunch of white liberals came in concerned for the blacks, and they're like, your businesses are going to be ruined by the white man. Let's fix it. Put them up in flames. And then Kyle gets blamed for it. Guys like him. Politics get ascribed to him. And I hate that, man. Like, he became a conservative icon, but that's not his fault or choice. And to me, personally, I don't care what Kyle's politics are. I don't care what anybody's politics are. I don't know his politics. Like, if he wants to talk politics with me, I'll talk him all day, but I don't care. If he was the most liberal dude on the planet, I would say the same fucking thing. I don't care. I get along with everybody so long as they can tolerate me, which is, there's like 5 people and none of them are lady rackets, but I arranged marriage her, so she has to deal with it. But every now and then I just send her articles on wife burning. I'm like, hey. Oh, ho, ho. Just kidding. It's not true. Oh my God. All right. So here we go. Look. Summary of the subject. We've had too much fun. I got too many jokes. I need to go ahead and Runkle says we need to find some even shorter shorts. Runkle, you should see how short my shorts are right now. They are fucking tiny. It's like I'm getting on a stripper pole right after I get off this stream. No, I'm just kidding. But since, look, I tangented a lot, got too wrapped up in jokes and laughing. Let's just summarize this. We covered the lawsuit about Kyle the other day. It's bullshit that he has to deal with this. We know that. But this is the other aspect of it. This is the unforgivable reality of anyone who falls in the crosshairs of the media's politics. It doesn't matter where that person's politics are. It just matters that they're not at that moment towing the media party line. At that moment, they're not. So therefore, they are bad. And they will be bad forever. Speaking of which, Joe the plumber died. I don't know if you guys saw that. But there is no remedy. There is no escape. There's nothing you can do. You will forever be the Nazi, whatever they need you to be. The Hitler of their political bubble. And the lawsuit from the estate of Rosenbaum, whatever. It's bullshit. Kyle shouldn't have to deal with it. It's bullshit against Kenosha, but fuck the police. Coming straight from the underground. MGL law. Yeah, MG law. The shorter the shorts, the better. Go show off those thighs for ladies. My nibba. There's a potential estate for Joseph Rosenbaum that is tens of millions of dollars. Circling back to the question I got distracted from. The estate of Joseph Rosenbaum has a plastic bag, some empty med cards, and in a sex offender registry entry. The potential estate, though, the potential interest in property is millions of dollars in compensation from the Kenosha government. Do I think he should win? No. But is it worth the lawyer giving it a shot? Maybe, because the lawyer's going to get a third of it, right? That's how they operate. Well, I get a third of this if I win, so may as well try. That's why he has an estate. He has a potential interest in millions of government dollars. And then that can go to somebody. I don't know that he had any offspring. He had that weird girlfriend or whatever. Maybe he has parents. I don't know Joseph Rosenbaum's family tree. Only that it should have contained at least one rope. So, all right. That's the end of the Kyle Rittenhouse subject. Thank you all for hanging out for that. Much love to Kyle. Again, nothing but love for that guy, and my sincere condolences that he has to deal with this bullshit when he has a ton of trauma, and I mean that. Like, we can make jokes about ventilating people or whatever, him shooting felons and nasty actors, but at the end of the day, shooting someone, killing them is not on the menu for most people. And when people are encountered, especially with that first thing, when all they're trying to do is just be out there helping, and they have to put a bullet in someone because they're about to be killed. You don't get over that. That's not a thing that, like, you're prepared to deal with. And your psychiatrist, psychologist, therapist, whatever, they're not prepared to help you deal with that. Like, not in reality, right? These motherfuckers aren't out killing people either. You take your best guess. You're like, well, process your feelings. Time will help it. Like, yeah, but I see that guy's face. I see it contorted up. I see him reaching for my gun. I see him reaching for me. I see what happens if I miss. I see being knocked to the ground. I'm surrounded by 100 people. I can't stand up. I'm being stepped on. I'm being kicked. I'm being punched. I know I'm going to die. My head hits the ground. I can't really think. My vision's blurry. I just feel it. Eventually, I stop feeling it. Eventually, I can't breathe. My mouth is full of blood. And I wake up. And I wasn't asleep. I was on the bus. I was in the car. I was at the doctor's office. I was sitting there. And now I can't breathe. Because I can taste the copper of the blood in my mouth. That's Kyle's reality. That's what he has to deal with. That's post-traumatic stress. That's, I really want to go to a restaurant, but I don't know if the guy in the restaurant's going to recognize me. And if he does, I don't know if he's pissing in my soup or if he's giving it to me for free. That's the thing. You know, we don't have to think about that. We get to talk about it in this black and white thing, principles. And we get to talk about it in concepts, self-defense. That's easy. The reality is much, much harder. And trust me, you don't want to ever have that in your life. And Kyle has it foisted upon him. So with that, we're going to move to Rumble very soon. Very, very soon. First thing I got to do is give a shout out, of course, to my favorite sponsors. Okay. Just kidding. Just kidding. My favorite sponsors, Field of Greens. Look, fieldofgreens.com. Use promo code NOSE. Now, I got to say it. I don't have a Field of Greens drink today because I'm out. I got to reach out to them. I noticed that I'm out of Field of Greens. Got to reach out and see if they will be happy to send me another sample pack of their wonderful flavors. But look, guys, Field of Greens is an easy way to get fruits and vegetables into your diet. Into your diet. You don't have to put them on the tip of a hollow point. You can just go ahead and drink them like you would liquor. You could drink them with your liquor if you want. Recommended with water, but you could try it with anything. Fieldofgreens.com, promo code NOSE. Look, it's a scoop of powder. Goes in 12 to 16 ounces of water. I've been trying 12 ounces. I recommend 16. Makes this up better. 16 ounces of water or any other liquid. Mix it up. Drink it. Get some fruits and vegetables in your diet. That's it. It's not a vitamin supplement. It's not a bunch of extracts or oils of. It's just ground up dried fruits and vegetables. And it promotes the overall health of a balanced diet. If you are like me, you got meat covered, maybe have some carbs from time to time, but fruits and vegetables, you're on the go a lot. You're eating, like fast food and stuff. You don't get a lot of fruits and vegetables, or you don't want to keep them around because if you don't eat them right away, they go bad and it can be kind of a waste. Whatever it is, this is a great way to get them into your diet. Go check them out. Promote your overall health. Promote your overall health. And really support a company that supports people like you, people like me, who enjoy free speech, who enjoy jokes, who like to be a little healthier as we go on in life. And that's it. That's all they want to do. They don't have any other agenda for you. We just want to put this powder in your body, like a drug dealer, but with plans. Cheers to Field of Greens, fieldofgreens.com, promo code NOSE. Thank you guys for sponsoring the show as always and supporting free speech, free opinion. Never, ever, ever once have they told me what to say or what not to say. All right, guys. Let's hit, oh shit. Let's hit these YouTube chats. I have Rumble chats and Locals chats as well. Let's hit these YouTube ones before we get off of YouTube and then Giggity. And then we'll go over to Rumble. All right, here we go. Should look like you have less inflammation before you promote that. Where do I have inflammation? Ooh. Man, I saw a video of me the other day. The guy did the supercut of like race shit. And I was like, God, I was way fatter then. Where's the Rumble link? Oh shit, let me add it while I got it. I'll put it in the description. It's in the pinned comment, but I'm putting it in the description right now. Full show on Rumble. The YouTube people, I saw a YouTube comment today that was like, they said they were unsubscribing from YouTube because there's no point, because after an hour it goes to Rumble. But they also said there's no point in subscribing on Rumble because, well, you have to catch up on the stream that happened, beforehand on YouTube. And it's like, no, you just watch the entire thing on Rumble. The whole thing from start to finish is on Rumble. You don't have to watch on YouTube and then go. Some people don't know that. Some people prefer to start on YouTube or whatever and then move to Rumble. Some people just watch the YouTube portion. They don't watch Rumble. Choose you, but I hope at some day you'll be encouraged to check out Rumble as they continue to make improvements. But I get it. I love you anyway. But yeah, if people don't know, you don't have to watch the first part of the show on YouTube. You could watch the whole thing start to finish on Rumble uninterrupted. So, I didn't think people thought that, but they do. It's the hypercolor filter. Why I don't have a filter. My walls are cream colored and I have warm light. So that's it. And I'm a little more tan than normal because I had to be outside in Texas and Florida. So I think it's throwing people off because I normally look like a fucking ghost. So anyway, but yeah. I actually have color because I was forced to be outside, which what a nightmare that was. You're not having much faith in me right now? Okay. Why? Rumble is fine, but it doesn't auto start. No, I think it does now. Rumble does auto start now. It didn't used to, but it does now. Salty C says again, I'm not having much faith in you right now, Nick. Kelly says, even with your heat allergy, my heat allergy is pretty well controlled. Pretty well controlled by my my medication. So it's good. Even through Florida and Texas, I only broke out a couple times. And once I got into air conditioning, it tamed down pretty quick. So that was nice. But okay. No chat in Rumble and desktop browser. You got to scroll down. It's there. Now, the chat is there because I use it. I have it pulled up right now on the desktop browser. So you might just have to look for it. They did rearrange stuff. You're not calling out on any solutions. You sound like you were very theatrical. Okay. This is one of those allegations that need to be addressed. Salty C. Of course I'm theatrical. I'm gay. It's Broadway, baby. It's Broadway. What solution do you want me to call out? How do you solve the media? How do you solve the subtle progressive creep that's been happening since 1912? What is the solution you want me to say? Do you have one? The solution that I have is I talk and tell the truth as I see it and hope that my message gets to more people every day. Will I ever be a CNN? I don't know. But I can be a source that people rely on for a take with biases they can understand and identify and aren't hidden. And I can do that every day. I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Take up arms and rebel against CNN. Like, what do you want me to tell you? I get this a lot. Like, what are you doing though? Like, I don't know. I'm talking into a microphone. Discussion, conversation, exposition has always been useful throughout history. But look, man, I don't know. I'm not going to tell people to go do, like, I'm not going to tell them to do whatever. You take the information, you do whatever you do with it. Did you see the news crew get robbed while reporting on armed robberies in Chicago? So proud of my city. It brings a tear to these old eyes. Oh my God, Kimbo, I got to show people the Drex Dakimakura that you sent me. I'll bring it up. Kimbo Nice, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic. No, I did not see that. I want to see it desperately. That sounds fucking funny. Okay, here we go. Seize the Day says, heart your rants and heart also your Christian perspective. Oh, that one is getting me over and over. Look, I am a Christian. believe in Jesus Christ as Savior of me personally, all of that stuff. And I have to, because I'm a giant piece of shit who likes to have way too much fun. I'm like, oh, I'm really banking on that whole like salvation without questions thing. Like, because I'm not always the best person, all right? I'm not always the best person. But I roll the dice heavy on fucking grace, man. I roll the dice heavy on grace. My Christian perspective is a little different than some other people's because, and not everybody's, but I'll give you the clue of it. It is grace centered, but at the same time, it's really about the opportunities that you have to speak into someone's lives, which I have a remarkably high opportunity of doing that, is to treat them with love and dignity and kindness whenever possible, to treat them with respect and courtesy, to give them grace, and to hope they spread that courtesy, love, kindness, and respect to other people. Now, if they're fat, sometimes I'm not great at it, but I try. Okay, I try, but you see, like rolls and rolls and rolls. Like, it's hard to be nice. Can't you just pretend to be nice? But that, to me, that's actually the most important Christian message. Look, I know there's all the values and the rules and stuff like that, but guys, I read the Sermon on the Mount. I'm actually old enough to have been there, and I get the idea from the big JC that those are more for me to look at me and less for me to look at you. So I really don't get out on judging other people and stuff like that for their moral things. Like, I might make fun of them or say, yeah, I don't know if this is the best move or whatever. And that might be based on a moral perspective. Sure. Like, I don't want people to rape kids. Like, I think that's a pretty crucial moral point. But at the same time, like, I think biblical morality is about what's here in you for you to deal with, not for me. My job is to encounter you, notice you for what you are. And as long as you're not actively hurting other people right now, like that I can deal with, give you a little leeway on that. I hope people do the same. That's my Christian perspective, but not everybody likes it. That's okay. Aunt Haggis, thank you for the donation. Monk in training. Hey, Nick, it's my 36th birthday today. Wondering if we could have a shot together. Been thinking about how time flies and how to make the most of what's left. Yeah, I got some liquor for you. I'm not going to do a whole shot. Because I've already had a couple drinks and trying not to drink as much on the show. Because the show is where I do basically all of my drinking, but even that was getting a little excessive. So drinking a little less. And I don't like to do shots at a time. This is good whiskey, whatever. But cheers to you, Mungan Training. 36 years old, man. You're at that age. You're at that critical juncture where people start paying attention to you for no reason. You start getting gray hairs and your balls finally drop, at least for me. Cheers to that, man. Happy birthday. But how to make the most of what's left? Dude, my life has gone 10,000 miles an hour since I turned 36. That was when I started the show. 36. 10,000 miles an hour, brother. You never know when life's going to pick up, slow down. Take the breaks when you get them. Grip the horse and fucking ride it into the dirt when you can. Time's a magical thing. It's never consistent, except consistently moving forward. But the pace is on fate and the pace is on you. Enjoy it, man. All right. Marrero. Cheers, Rackets. How fun was your weekend? Seems like you're making Twitter people angry. How dare you take Dick's side? To be clear, I didn't take Dick's side. not anti-Eric. I think, though, liquor is getting the best of me already, which is a disaster. And I'm going to say something that might be a little unpopular. All right? Please don't jump down my throat on this. Isom 2 is a huge campaign, a smashing success. $2.3 million. Isom 1 was $3.7 million. And some people expected Isom 2 to outdo Isom 1. And to them, I say, that was a poor expectation. You should not have had it. Not because sequels never outsell the original. But the reality is, Isom number 1, and for whatever you think of Dick, Vito, or any of the other people who have said negative things about Isom, ignore the negative. Ignore that. There's one thing they're 100% right on. Isom was sold as a concept, which is fine. It's the hype of a parallel economy. It's an independent creator breaking out. It's the story of the creation, not the product, that is selling Isom number 1. Great. You will hear me support that a billion times out of a billion. I love indie creation. I love buying stuff from creators that I like, that I know, that I've met, that I've talked to. Say, I know this guy. He's genuine. The second book will not carry that hype typically, because that product is exhausted on the first buy. The product was the hype. Buy the book. People who aren't fans buy the book. It's fine. Beautiful. The second product is a different story. You should not expect a second campaign to outsell a first. And that expectation can be damaging. And I hope everything's good. I want Eric to make 500 more books and each one to continue to grow. I think the second book is a good barometer of the potential for the third and the fourth book, better than the first. Because the hype train left the station. It's on a different schedule. Second and third are more consistent with fans purchasing, fans of comics. Because I'm not a fan of comic books, right? Not a big fan. You guys know this if you listen to me talk. Like I don't know a ton. I'm not buying comics every week or anything like that. I love supporting people I like. But I'm not going to buy a million things. It's fine. It's just who I am. So it's going to be a lot of people who hit that first one who won't hit the second one. The second one's a great indicator that Isom stands to make a ton of money if it can keep going. But it really depends on how it's managed. And I hope it's being managed well. I trust Eric. I think he's a good dude. I think he's got his heart in the right place. And I want him to succeed all over the place. And I don't think that saying, Isom 2 made less than Isom 1 is like some attack. I don't think it's a criticism or a critique. I think it's a reflection of reality. And if the reality is every book they put out is going to make $2 million, $2.3 million, maybe get up to $3 million or whatever after the sales, the post-market sales or whatever, great. Fantastic. You have a sustainable idea of how to do business. Budget around it. But I am a little concerned that maybe the first one was used as a barometer, and that's not great internet marketing. So cheers to them. But again, like, I'm not on a side. I don't care. Dick picks fights with people. He's really good at pissing them off. And when they get pissed off and they fight back, he thrives on that. But I also want to say something very, very clearly, because I think this is lost on a lot of people. People are like, what? How can you support someone trying to ruin someone's business? I've not seen Dick trying to ruin anyone's business at all. Some of you will differ, and that's okay. But I do not believe the emails to the charity or the email to the whatchamacallit, the Christian ministry were sent by Dick or Vito. One, I don't think Dick does that. And two, Vito's too retarded. I think that was likely a fan. And I've seen this shit play out a million times on the internet. So until I get evidence otherwise, you're not going to see me say different. And I haven't seen any compelling evidence that that's the case. So take that as you will. I don't care what your decision is. You don't have to like Dick and Vito. You can hate Dick and Vito all day. Please do, for fuck's sake. Literally the last thing on my list is trying to convince you to like someone else. I just want you guys to know where I stand and why I don't ever want to lie about it. I want Eric to make all the money in the world. I think the lawsuit against him's trash. I think it'll end up failing in the long run. And I hate that he has to deal with it. But at the same time, I don't think Dick and Vito sent those emails. And I think they're being wrongfully blamed on it. But I understand why they're being blamed on it. And that's their fault. It's their fault. Don't get me wrong. I just think that ultimately that will out. So, but I'll never lie to you on any of that stuff. It would have been way easier to lie and be like, Dick and Vito are a piece of shit. Eric July is the greatest of all time. And I unequivocally support him. And the reason it would have been easy to lie is twofold. One, Eric's audience is massive. They're vocal. I could have probably gotten new people to the show. Could have gotten Eric on, be like, talk about this stuff. We could shit on Dick all day. That's reason number one. Reason number two, Dick wouldn't care if I did that. Dick would not care if I threw him in the fucking dirt. We'd still be friends. He doesn't give a shit about that. It would have been the easy way out. It would have been the simple thing to do, to pick the big tribe and to roll with it for money, for clicks, or for whatever. But that's not how I do things. It just isn't. And I'm not going to throw away my integrity on people for that. Sorry. So, just me. Holy fuck. What are you doing, fam? It's a giant super chat. Holy shit. Hold on. I have to. No, I don't have to do anything. Just me says, no drink tonight, but don't do anything to get yeeted on September 11th like last year. And you even promise you fix it then year. And you say in front of Lady Rackets, and she said, I thought that was so sweet. Making sure he will. I tried to get you in Houston, but I couldn't get out of hospital till Monday. Damn it. Oh, fuck. Dude, if I'm ever down in Houston again, I'll let you know. I do have family down there. I don't see them very often. There may be other events for me to go to down there. If I'm ever in Houston again, let me know. But here's banking on that Matsuri next year. I think I talked to the owner of Matsuri yesterday or the day before. A great conversation. Told him, I'm down. Whatever you want for the YouTube corner. If you want me to just take the reins from the start and get people invited, like I would love to do it. I'd love to figure out what we can do to make it bigger and better. And we had a great productive conversation. He's awesome. His wife is awesome. Anime Matsuri is a great place. And by the way, I would say that 100%, even if they never invite me back, which I don't think that's going to happen, but it's always possible, right? I'm a giant asshole, piss a lot of people off. So I wouldn't fault them if they don't, but here's hoping that they do, because I love going to the show, love meeting up with people, and love hanging out with them, and would love to bring more and more YouTube/Rumble content. I would love to get Locals or Rumble to have a booth there at Matsuri, and I'm happy to facilitate that as well. I think they would do really well talking to people there also. Let's stop calling it a YouTube corner. Call it creator corner or whatever. And content creator corner, and get more and more people there that's my goal. Grow it to what it could be, because Anime Matsuri will attract all the degenerate fucking weebs in Houston and everywhere else to it. Let's get people who don't go to anime shows to go there, become fans of anime, become fans of weeb culture, turn them into gays. It's great. Let's do that. That's what I want to do. And let's do it by suckering them in to see Critical Drinker. So, all right, here we go. Holden his cock says salt water is good for dislodging semen stuck in the back of your throat. Just thought you'd like to know for no reason in particular. Look, man, I wish it was that simple. It's just I was loud, talked a lot, and did some loud talking, not on stream, last week, and that fucked up my voice. But it's getting better. It's getting better. Nardo Polo says Hicks is who Dennis Leary stole his entire comedy routine from in the 90s. I'd heard the name Bill Hicks, but I didn't know exactly who it was. Angel, Australia, Trump 2024, bought and paid for by the U.S. government. Damn. Tara Rayner says the estate is a plastic bag with chemicals. Tim Chang says Colin Cum Guzzler. Lily Smith. A video I saw, I can't remember which, says conservatives, especially influence, are targets now. Probably. Which is why I fully love and support the CCP, the Jews, the Southern Poverty Law Center, Black Lives Matter, death to Whitey. Bobby says, bro, you're still on YouTube? I know. Just Me says, can Kyle sue Law and Cucks over this article? Probably not. Probably not. Pimp Poopy says, you and Legal Mindset should do a charity stream for Kyle Rittenhouse. I don't do charity streams at all. Charity streams are targets. Legitimately, literally targets. I don't do them. What I will do is I will take donations. I'll take the cuts from the platform, the 30 to 50% cut, or 30 to 43% cuts that we get if it's from an Apple device, for example, on YouTube and Rumble. And then I will personally donate the full amount for a charity stream, which means I'll take, if people send $1,000, I'll take the $700. I'll donate $1,000. That's what I'll do. I will not do YouTube's charity option. Those charity streams are targeted by media. This Nazi, blah, 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 used hate to raise money. No, I won't do it. I will not do it. I wish it weren't that way. It'd be way easier, but I won't do them. Dustin Shirley says, your defense of Rittenhouse made me a lifelong fan. Cheers, brother. Again, reach out to me. Marshall Autis says, dead pedo for the win. Bob Charles, question at this point, isn't saying Kyle crossed state lines with an AR actually slander since his public record he didn't? Defamation law on public figures is very complicated. Kyle's definitely a public figure in the matter of the shooting. And there are people, well, knowledge of the falsity, reckless disregard for the truth. With journalists and the First Amendment protection for journalists, it actually comes into a complicated question. What is their journalistic standard, and did they violate it? That's the question. Not, hey, people say he crossed state lines with a rifle. There you go. Or he could say, I meant he crossed state lines and had a rifle. It was just taken incorrectly. The question is, did he know it was false and convey it anyway? And the knowledge either has to be proven by like some sort of statement that, like in a message or something, lying about this Kyle guy, or reckless disregard for the truth would be failure to follow your journalistic standards. But it's not journalistic standards. It's your journalistic standards. Does this guy research intently every single issue he comments about? If not, he didn't violate shit. Okay. Ed says, Lil Jojo knew what a butt was for. But for causation, but for him, as long as it was between 8 and 12. God damn it. Parrothead, grab them by the posse. Dustin Shirley, thank you for the donation. Tara Rayner, you need Grambo on so I can unveil my Grambo panties. Michael says, Nick, can you fat shame me? 6 feet and 235 pounds. Yeah, I can fat shame you. You fat piece of shit. 6 feet, 235? But you just can't get away from cheesecake or whatever. Oh, you're too tall to duck to get out of the room. Motherfucker. Oh, I'm tall. I wear the weight well. You don't. Your mom is lying to you. And that's the only woman who will talk to you because of how fucking fat and disgusting you are. I can smell you from here and you smell like chicken nuggets. You know, the next time you're going to go through a drive-through, why don't you do a walk-through? And the walk-through be a gun store while you consider all the options of fast weight loss you can see. And then don't eat. Sees the day says Kyle Rittenhouse prayers for health, wealth, and peace. Terry Rosenbaum father was the one who gave the middle finger. No, that was not the Rosenbaum. That was Anthony Huber, to the judge on Zoom. Make me a mod. I'm your favorite Canadian above Runkle and Viva. Kyle, prayer hands. Slap.com. Ralph is back on Zanny Berries. Rip sobriety. Look, I hope Ralph recovers. Sobriety is not a one-way thing. Like it's a push back and forth against a crippling ailment. So I hope he gets better. I really do. Steve Robertson says, I rolled the dice heavy on REKIETA. Grifty, woohoo! Raggets is the GOAT. I'm drunk as fuck. Just finished an epic 4-hour stream with Mike Harlow. Heard a crossover might be coming. Can't wait. Yes. I'll be doing a crossover episode soon. Not sure if it's on Mike's channel or mine with the internet's twink, Mike Harlow. It should be fun. We'll announce that when we got it. Mostly Gluten says, Ripa does seem to be surrounding himself with quality people for future projects. Hope so. Hope so. Okay, guys, I went way too long on YouTube. We're getting the fuck off this commie channel. I'll see you over on Rumble in a couple seconds. Links in the description, links in the pin chat. See you then. Peace. Peace.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Hezbollah, Antifa, ISIS, children breads. What's up, guys? Oh shit, I didn't remove my, oh shit.